Yo, what's going on, everybody? How we doing? We're getting an early start tonight. We are continuing Aerodactyl and Clobbopus. I know the DLC is out. I've been playing it all day, but I want to finish at least one of these hunts. All right, I want to finish one of these hunts. So we're back with these two. Hello Squid, hello Fang. But yeah, I will say I've been playing the ZA DLC, and I am enjoying it. Way more than I thought I would. I am a little annoyed at some of the megas they went with. Okay, not gonna lie. But I do like some of the megas they gave us as well. I'm not gonna talk about specifics. I don't want to spoil for anybody that hasn't seen it and doesn't want it. But there's some really good megas in the DLC. Alright. There's some really good megas, and there's a couple that, while they're newer Pokemon, I'm very happy to see them get some love. And they were a ginormous pain in the ass for me to have to beat as part of the story. And to get their Mega Stone. So yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing so far in the DLC. Obviously, you've got the donuts, which is very similar to the sandwiches in Scarlet and Violet. I will say there's a lot more that goes on with the donuts than just like sparkling power. You need to make the donuts to go into the dimension rifts. For the most, at least in the beginning, time-wise, you don't have nearly as much time with the donut power. And it's not as much of a cheat code to have sparkling power as it was in Scarlet and Violet. I'll put it that way. You'll find it a lot harder to get shinies, even with sparkling power in the ZA DLC, than you found it took in Scarlet and Violet. We'll just put it that way. It's a lot more effort to get your shinies. There's a lot of Pokemon available in the DLC as well. Some stuff that we've seen recently. Some stuff that I'm pretty happy to see. Even if we've seen it recently, if that makes sense, like, there's some stuff that, like, I still need for my shiny decks that's available in the DLC, which I'm very happy about, because I feel like it'll be easier to get it in the ZA DLC than it will be to get it the other methods available to me. Sister was crying in her car, basically said, hey, either stop or we're gonna catch fire, on her little screen on her dash. I had a son say call AAA and they took an hour to get to her to tow her car, and she was very upset. Yeah, that's a scary situation. Like, not gonna lie, I've been broken down on the side of the interstate before and had to wait an hour for help, and it is not a good time. Like, you're just sitting there and there's just cars whizzing by you at 90. It is not comfortable at all. So it happened to me. I was back when I was just a kid, when I was 18, or actually I was probably 19 at this point, and I was coming home for the weekend from college. I was like an hour and a half away from home up in upstate New York, and I was 20 minutes from school. I had just crossed this long-ass bridge. Fucking thankfully, it let me cross the bridge first, because if this shit happened on the bridge, holy fuck. What's up, Dragon? But I literally crossed the bridge and my battery just dies. Apparently my alternator was shot, or it fucking crapped out while I was crossing the bridge. I don't know what. But literally I crossed the bridge and just lose power. Thank you for the shining luck there, Fang. Pull over to the side of the road, call my dad, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna come help. So he shows up. Again, I'm like an hour plus away from home. So he's got to like go past me, get off, turn around, everything else. Finally comes up and puts a new battery in the car. It's got just enough juice to get me home, but that was a shitty day. Just sitting on the side of the highway. Like, I got out of the car and was standing on like the other side of the guardrail because I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be in my car when some dickhead not paying attention slams into the back of it. Fuck that. I don't care if it's cold. I'll wait over there. Most likely an alternator issue. Can't get her car into place till tomorrow. Thankfully she doesn't work tomorrow. Well, that's good at least, Squiddy. And at least it's just an alternator. That's a pretty easy fix on 90% of cars. So for people who don't know cars at all, right? So your alternator is what allows your battery to continue functioning in your car, right? As you drive, the energy that the engine is making transfers through the alternator and continually charges your battery. Because if you've ever had like, you know, where your battery dies and you go to turn it and it tries to start the car and it doesn't quite make it, and then you go again and nothing happens, right? Because your battery like only carries enough like juice in it to like start your car. That's it. And so the alternator keeps that electricity going. And so if your alternator goes, you ain't got shit. And the fun thing most people don't realize is your alternator can go out one of two ways, right? It can either stop charging your battery, which is the more common way that it goes out. That, like, when your alternator goes, typically it just stops charging the battery. But there's a safety on it to where it won't overcharge the battery. And sometimes that malfunctions. And that's the fun one, because then your battery just fucking explodes because it's overcharged. And I had that happen to an ex-girlfriend of mine. She calls me up one day and she's like, my car won't start. I know I was supposed to come pick you up, but can you come pick me up today? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I go in and I'm like, well, you mind if I take a look real quick? So I'm looking like around the engine bay, trying to like, you know, see if there's just anything obvious that's like out of place or a cable's disconnected, something that's, you know, oh, well, here's why your car didn't start. Let me fix that for you, babe. And then I look and there's like like you can see where there's battery acid is sprayed on the underside of her hood. And I look at her battery and her battery is just busted where it like literally exploded. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure your alternator's gone. I can't fix this for you. And like she calls me the next day and she's like, so yeah, you were right. My parents took my car into the shop and yeah, I needed a new alternator, and because the battery exploded, I obviously needed a new battery. So yeah, that was fun. That ex was actually really funny. So me and her got along great. We had a great relationship. Her parents, more specifically her mother, fucking hated me. This is where I was talking about like where I spray painted fast on the pole, and the mom was like, what idiot would think to do that? And she had to like hold in her laughter. This is that ex. But her mom fucking hated me. But despite how much her mom hated me, if we were going anywhere where like, typically she would drive because she had a better car than I did. But if we were going anywhere where there's even the remote chance that parallel parking would be required, her mom would be like, all right, so like you guys are going, if you have to parallel park, just let Arthur do it. Just let him. Like it was the only thing ever she gave me any credit for. Anything else, I was not good enough. I was worthless, and I had no business being anywhere near her daughter. But if a car needed to be parallel parked, even her mom was like, just let Arthur do it, all right? Don't try. Don't even attempt it. Just let him do it. Because you were nervous. I mean, parallel parking is a little bit difficult, but like, I grew up in an area where like you had to know how to do it. Like, it was all on-street parking and shit like that. You had to parallel park where I grew up. You had to be able to do it, or you weren't getting a parking space. But it's a lost art, especially down here in Florida. I actually, like... So, I used to go to Lightning games, like, for the Tampa Bay hockey team all the time. And back in the day, before they actually started winning, and everybody started wanting to go to games, before they were back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, they were pretty shit. And nobody wanted to go to the games, and a bunch of other stuff. And so back then, there was this area like a mile from the stadium that just had a bunch of on-street parking that nobody really used very much. And so they didn't charge for parking. The trick was you had to know how to parallel park. And so I always used to park over there because I knew I could do it really well. And so there was one time I was going to a game, and like I'm going down this little side road looking for a parking space, and I see one spot, and I just pulled up, backed right in, one shot, turned the car off, got out. And I did it so quickly and perfectly. There was this group of like 5 people that were walking down the street that actually stopped and watched me do it. I think they were like initially stopping for like, oh, this ought to be good. Let's see if this guy can do it. And then I just was like, it's done. When I got out of the car, they actually started applauding me for my parallel parking ability. That's how much of a lost art it is in the South. I got a standing ovation for parallel parking. Yo, what's going on, Red Shadow? How you doing, buddy? So, yeah. It was great because, like, the street I lived on, you pretty much, like, all the on-street parking was parallel parking. And so, occasionally she would come over, and, like, there would just be no cars, and she could just pull up. But anytime it actually required parallel parking, she would just double park her SUV and call me and be like, yo, Arthur, I need you to come park my truck for me. And I'd have to, like, go outside and, like, parallel park her truck for her before she came up to my apartment. Oh, man. Good times backing, old Connecticut there. Oh, man. Dude, we used to have, like... We used to just do random shit. Like, towards the end of high school and just after, before I moved to Florida, like, the most random nonsense imaginable is what we would get into. And I was one of those kids, like, I didn't consider myself straight edge at the time. Other people around me considered me straight edge because I didn't drink and I didn't do any drugs, but it was more like a lack of opportunity than it was that I was straight edge. Like, I had friends that smoked weed, but given the issues with my birth dad, I was like very much about avoiding drugs. But I had no problem with drinking, but none of my friends drank. And so I didn't drink just because I didn't have anything to drink. As soon as somebody put alcohol in my face, finally, I was like, fuck yeah, let me get it. Opinion of the new Mega release today. I don't want to go into too much detail, Jordan, because I want to avoid spoilers for anybody that is planning on doing it themselves. However, what I will say, the megas I have seen so far, I have a positive opinion of. And I've caught a few of them, and I've seen a few of the shinies, and I like what I'm seeing so far. There's a couple that I've gotten that I haven't seen the shiny yet, and I really want to catch a shiny to see what the mega looks like. I was playing the DLC most of today while I was working. I was actually playing the DLC right up until stream. And overall, the DLC is a lot more fun than I thought it would be. I live in a very small town. I name just about every person I see. Nothing to do, just drive once in a while. We'd walk around and just get into shit. Cops called us because we were getting on the roof of a baseball. Somebody called the cops because of that? What the fuck, Squid? What kind of Karen is that? Oh my god, they're on the dugout. Call 911. Fucking Karen-ass people. Oh shit, Iron Bundle in the chat for Twitch. Go ahead and throw those Ultra Balls, guys. Iron Bundle. Or Frozen Ball, Netball, Fastball. Those all apparently work. I forgot I had that little additional bot thing to help us out with that. I don't know that I'd go that far, Jordan. As I'm like, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but I'm fairly certain the legends are going to be shiny locked. And I would say if that ends up being the case, the DLC is a failure. Like, you just brought back megas. Why are you going to shiny lock the legends and not let us get shiny mega legendaries? You know what I mean? And so I'm going to hold off until it's confirmed whether the legends are shiny locked or not before I say Game Freak did something right or did a good job. Because I can tell you, if you make the legends actually huntable, hey, go me and Dragon on the Iron Bundle. If the legends are shiny huntable, the replay value of that game goes up tremendously. Because you're going to have every shiny hunting streamer playing ZA for the next 2 years, trying to get all the shiny legends. But if you shiny lock them, nobody is going to be playing the DLC on any, or nobody's going to be playing ZA on any streaming platform within 3 to 6 months. It's going to be a handful of like small creators. But your bigger creators are going to be done with that game within 3 months. And that's the mistake they made with Scarlet and Violet, right? All the legends in the DLC were shiny locked. And so the DLC came out, and within 3 months, nobody was fucking playing it. All your streamers that do Pokemon content had gone back to older games like Sword and Shield. And the problem, and the thing that Game Freak has failed to understand is keeping streamers alive in your game is such a key element to the game having long-term success. No, there won't be another DLC, Jordan. They've got Gen 10 coming out soon. This is all we're going to get until Gen 10. We might see a remake between now and Gen 10, but there won't be any more DLC for ZA. But with Scarlet and Violet, they shiny locked the legends, and so all the streamers stopped playing the game. With Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, they weren't good games. They weren't. But all the legends were huntable. You could shiny hunt all the legends in BDSP. And because of that, you had all these big streamers. And when I say big, I mean in Pokemon terms, right? You had people with 100+ viewers continually playing BDSP because they were shiny hunting the legends. Well, what did that do? That got people watching to see them get the shiny legend. Well, what did that translate to? I want to get the shiny legend myself. And so people kept going out and buying BDSP so that they could hunt the shiny legends. And then Sword and Shield came out and we got the DLC for that, where you could shiny hunt all the legends again. And the same thing happened. All the streamers, all the Pokemon streamers kept playing Sword and Shield. You could find Sword and Shield streams with 100 viewers when Scarlet and Violet dropped. It had been, what, 3 years? People were still tuning into those streams. What were those streamers doing? They were shiny hunting the legends in the Dynamax adventures. They were doing the Crown Tundra hunts for the Swords of Justice and the Reggies. And what kept happening? People kept going out and buying Sword and Shield, buying the DLC. The Scarlet and Violet DLC didn't fail for any reason other than they shiny locked the legends. No idea, Jordan. No idea what it'll be based off of. The leaks say the names are going to be Wind and Wave. That's all I know on that. But you know what I mean? Like, when you've got people who can tune into this shit and see that it's fun and see what's going on with it, even if they weren't going to buy it initially, eventually they get to a point where they're like, I want to hunt this. And so they go and buy the DLCs and things like that. There was nothing in the DLC for Scarlet and Violet that made people, like, want that DLC. The only thing it had going for it was that you could get all the starters just out in the wild. That was the only thing the DLC had going for it. And you could get all the starters in, like, a couple hours. And you didn't need to pay $30 for the DLC to do that. You could get most of the starters through Masuda in Sword and Shield. And so a lot of people just said, fuck it. There's really nothing in the DLC worth it. There's nothing really new and exciting. So I'm not going to buy it. Welcome back, Squid. And, like, Game Freak has this weird thing where they love shiny locking legendaries. And I don't get it. Because shiny hunting legends is probably the biggest selling point to their games. Sister's back in her apartment. Uncle Ultimate is going to go buy her a new battery tomorrow. Hell yeah, Squid. You know. And for some reason, Game Freak refuses to acknowledge that fact of their games. And it's very confusing to me that they do that. You know, BDSP, despite being a bad game, is one of the top-selling Pokemon games of all time. And it's literally because you could shiny hunt just about every legend up until that point, right? Actually, you could shiny hunt every legend, because that was one of the few games in the last few years where the box legend wasn't shiny locked. Because that's one thing they've loved to do recently, is shiny locking the box legend. And it pisses off so much of the fan base. And, like, Game Freak will bend over backwards and do whatever they can. Game Freak would stick their dick in their own ass if they could, if it would please the competitive community. But when it comes to the shiny hunting community, for some reason, and I don't understand it, Game Freak just shits on us non-stop. And I don't get it. And they feel like with Scarlet and Violet, oh, we gave you shiny sandwiches. We gave you overworld shinies. We made it so easy to get shinies. Why are you so upset? Well, that's why we're fucking upset. The whole point of shinies up until Scarlet and Violet is that they're rare. They're hard to get. Scarlet and Violet reduced the value of shinies so much that it became stupid. The Scarlet and Violet came out in November. By the end of by like mid-March, I had the entire shiny living dex. I had a shiny of every single Pokemon in the game, and I don't mean I had a shiny Fuecoco or a shiny Skeleturge. I mean I had Fuecoco, Crocalor, and Skeleturge. I had Sprigatito, its mid-evolution, and Meowscarada, right? I had the entire shiny living dex in 5 months for Scarlet and Violet. It reduces the value of shinies. It makes them not worth it anymore. Nobody gives a fuck. I mean, I can tell you, you know, the other night on Twitch, I had 15 viewers for most of my stream, going for Clobbopus and Shiny Alpha Aerodactyl. Scarlet and Violet, I never even broke 10 shiny hunting in Scarlet and Violet. Nobody gave a fuck about shiny hunting in Scarlet and Violet because it didn't matter. It was a guarantee. Everybody knew you were getting the shiny. There was no build-up. There was no expectation. There was nothing. It was just, yeah, you're going to do a couple sandwiches, and then there's the shiny. It's on the screen. Congrats. Nobody gave a fuck. Viewers didn't care, and streamers didn't care. Doing another shelf at Dratini because I want a shelf at Dragonite. Alphas had a little bit of extra to the game, but SV had nothing. Super jumbo shiny, but no, exactly, Squid. And that's the thing, like with ZA. If you're looking for a alpha of something where it's gonna be hard to get, a shiny alpha of one of the starters, a shiny alpha of one of the fossils, people care. Outside of that, nobody wants to watch ZA shiny hunting. It's boring as fuck. Speaking of which, Aerodactyl checks. No, 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 and no. Also, if you aren't up on the Discord, I am at 13 phases now on the Aerodactyl. 13. Exactly. It's just okay. That's the problem. I also honestly think they did something to the shiny odds in Sword and Shield, because prior to the Scarlet and Violet DLC, I had my hunts, but I got stuff on average around odds. Since the Scarlet and Violet DLC came out, and with it an update to Sword and Shield, I have had so many hunts go well over odds. And I honestly think they did something to the odds in Sword and Shield, and just nobody's done a deep dive of the code to find it. Because it's not just me. I've seen it with a bunch of other people, where ever since that update to Sword and Shield dropped with the Scarlet and Violet DLC, people are just going so much more into hunts in Sword and Shield now. And I think they secretly adjusted the shiny odds with Charm to make it harder to get shinies here, to try to motivate people to play Scarlet and Violet instead. Now, obviously, I can't prove that because I'm not a coding expert and I don't know how to rip the game code and all that. It's just from my observation, getting shinies in Sword and Shield has gotten a lot harder over the last year and a half, 2 years. Because, like, prior to that update, you know, me going to 2700, I think I did it twice. Ever. And since that update, this has been the normal for me. Ever since that update, like, going 3K plus with charm for a shiny has been normal. And it makes me feel like they basically took the shiny charm out of the game. And like I said, I can't prove it, but I mean, if those of you that have been watching my channel for a while can vouch for it, all of a sudden, me getting shinies under 3K has become a rarity. Like, I had a little bit of luck, but overall, it feels like I'm hunting in BDSP. I mean, for me to go 7,500 for a double aid with charm, 7,500 to get a shiny double aid with the shiny charm. Yes, you did, Squid. But I mean, like I said, it was what, like 5 out of 7 hunts went at least 3K? That's fucking insanity. It should be like 1 in 7 goes that far with charm. And I went 5 out of 7. Hey, what's going on, Caro? So, I don't know, man. I don't know what happened in one of the updates of Sword and Shield, but something got fucked up somewhere. I'm convinced of it because these hunts have just been way more brutal than they're supposed to be. If you want to watch a Pokemon movie later, which movie, Carol? Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm feeling good today. I actually got decent sleep last night. Work wasn't too bad, so I'm doing pretty good today. I've also drank a lot of Jack and Coke tonight, even before stream. Destiny, Deoxys, or Forever? Ooh. Honestly, I'm partial to Deoxys. I like Deoxys as a Pokemon. I wish we got to see more of it in the games. Can you imagine a Mega Deoxys? Oh, that would be awesome. Dragon's on the same boat as me. Mega Deoxys would be awesome. Get the fuck out of my head. You get out of my head. Your favorite of the Hoenn movies? Wonderful soundtrack. You know what, Caro? The soundtrack making it your favorite completely checks out with you. I fully understand that thought process when it comes to you. Wishmaker, while not your favorite, also has amazing music. See, I never pay attention to the music so much. I only know, like, afterwards, if, like, I vibed with the music or not. If that makes any sense, like, I don't pay attention to it during it. But then, like, afterwards, I'm like, no, like, I felt good about the music. I didn't, you know, like, I always feel like if the music's bad, I notice it, and if the music's good, I don't. And so if I don't notice the music, that's a good sign. Hang on, be right back. Okay. Book was being super loud again. I had to close the door. So, like, the weather's been better, so I've been having the garage, like, the door from the garage to the house open, with the garage door open, and then the window in the back of the house open, so you get airflow through the house. You know what I mean? But Book's being fucking super loud on her call tonight, and I'm sitting here trying to stream, and I just hear her yapping from in the house, and I'm like, I can't deal with that right now. I'm trying to stream and do my thing. I don't need to hear her conversation. Good point, Squiddy. All the anime episodes of movies, probably not the best source to watch, but hey, I mean, if it's got everything, it's a good source, in my opinion. And that's 2,700 on clobbopus with no shiny. I mean, the problem with getting all the DVDs is that's expensive. You know what I mean? That's the problem with that. More than one of the movie DVDs I have, movies on them, like one of has gotcha, Kara. Hey, what's up, No Jen? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good night. Honestly, I don't think I would be as annoyed with clobbopus being at 2,700 without a shiny if it spawned more often. But, like, you look at it, I'm getting, like, 1 to 2 checks on average per reset. And so it's just taking so long to get to this point. You started to... Yeah, no, that would make you feel weird, No Jen. I just went through that myself recently. Starting new medication will definitely make you feel weird. And, like, the medication I started makes me feel weird in 2 ways, right? Because, one, just being on the medication fucking scrambles my brain in the beginning, and resets things, and that made me feel weird. But what also made me feel weird was, if the diagnosis was wrong, there would have been immediate signs that it was wrong. And those signs didn't occur, which means the diagnosis was right, and that made me feel weird as well. So I don't know how to feel about that part of it. Well, no, Jen, just make sure you're taking your meds as prescribed, my dude. That's the best advice I can give. Whatever the doctor says you should be doing with them, make sure you do it. There's a reason they're prescribing it. And just be honest with them about the effects of it. You know what I mean? Hey, Sweaty Kitty, thank you so much for the shiny luck. Much appreciate that. I definitely need all the shiny luck I can get right now because both of these hunts are being a pain in my ass. Again, I'm up to 13 phases on Aerodactyl. And the only time of the 13 where I've had an alpha in the box that the shiny occurred in was the very first phase. And the alpha was 2 Aerodactyls. 2 before the shiny. That's the only time I've had an alpha anywhere near a shiny. Alarm set for the weekend, take your morning meds, the most important ones. Really? I guess I'm lucky then. My meds are all before bed. So I don't need to worry about waking up early to take them. All my meds I take before I go to bed. If I had to wake up to take them, I would probably be a lot less likely to actually take them properly. Loki, shut up. I hear Loki barking in the bedroom. I don't know what he's barking at, but he's barking at something. I didn't slam the door. The fuck are you talking about, Michelle? Mozzarella VTuber model, and you just get bitten by it. Oh, I gotta see it. I love Mozzarella. I don't get to watch her very often, but I fucking love Mozzarella. She's such a fun streamer. And like the shit she's dealt with. And just like, still just like, I'ma keep going. It's all good. I got it. Don't worry about it. Like, goddamn, the strength it takes to deal with the shit she has. They're barking because they miss you. I doubt that shit, Michelle. Loki's just a dumbass. He heard a noise 3 blocks away, and he thinks we're in danger. Ran around in the yard, brought me his ball, ran around some more, then passed out in his bed. Dude, that's one thing I love about dogs. Like, when you come home, they just act like their whole world just, like, everything is perfect and nothing else matters. You're home. That's all I care about. I love that about dogs. The thing I hate about my dogs is they act that way for Book. They couldn't give a fuck about me. And together he was. See, Cameron, that's what I'm saying. If like me and Book go away for like the weekend, even just the weekend, and we have to like leave somebody to take care of the dogs, when we come home, all they care about is that Book's home. They don't give a fuck about me. Like, we did that trip to Europe this summer. We came home. I'm literally just walking around the house, putting bags away and shit. Book's on the floor with both dogs on top of her. I'm like, I was gone for 10 days too, you fuckheads. Can I get some love? Like, the fuck? Warning, if my mama's well. He runs right forward, leaving you in the dust. That's pretty funny. Your cat Maroon was excited I was home. Your cat Marinette was like, oh, you left, didn't notice, and your kid was terrified. Yeah, that sounds like cat behavior there. I'm actually surprised Merlin was excited. So I can tell you, like, when I'm in the office and I come home from work, I'll walk in the door and the dogs just stay on the bed. Erza and Loki, I'll walk in the bedroom and they'll both just be laying on the bed like, oh, you're home. Book comes home, they hear her like car beep when she locks it, and they're both at the garage door immediately waiting for her to walk in the door. Immediately. As soon as they hear her car lock, they're at the door waiting for her. And it's like, what the fuck? And especially with Loki, right? Because we had Erza first. We had Erza for like a year plus before we had Loki. And so Erza is Book's favorite. End of discussion. There's no debate. That is her favorite. That is her baby. And she is all about Erza. Loki was like my dog. I was always around him as a puppy. I was the one taking him for walks. I was the one training him. I was the one taking care of him. Everything. And so you'd think Loki would be that way with me. That I would be like his favorite person and all he cares about. Blah, blah. Nope. Loki don't give a fuck about me. All he cares about is getting in between Erza and Book. That is it. Like, if I'm there by myself, Loki will pay attention to me. If Book is there, he don't give a fuck that I'm even alive. That dog couldn't care less that I exist if Book is anywhere in the house. And it's like, dude, you're so dumb. Like, all you have to do is put that energy towards me and you will get all the love in the world. Nope. He wants love from Book he will never receive in return. A Red Shadow with a 10 stream streak. Let's go, Red. Fuck yeah, dude. Love to see it. Much appreciate the support, dude. But yeah, Loki is an absolute dumbass. And then for those of you that weren't there last night, me and Book actually made really good progress in Grounded. We got a whole lot of shit. What's up?
I heard you slam the door because
I didn't even slam the door, I just closed it.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I was trying not to get you.
I'm sitting here trying to do my thing, and all I hear is your conversation.
Sorry. I was showing off all of my cat leggings, and then I was showing off my Nightmare Before Christmas. Is Riz on?
Yes. I was gonna say she was here earlier.
Well, look it, A Nightmare Before Christmas. That's from him. I can't move your ass. My leggings can't be shown. You can't see them.
Step over to the side a second.
Oh.
Not that far. There you go.
I know, but you can't see.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, there, yeah. And then the back has the little slit. That's my ass.
The smile. It's on her ass.
Oh, it is?
Turn. Yeah,
oh, it
turn.
is.
Turn. See, it's got a smile.
Oh. I didn't realize that.
Oh, Sweaty Kitty has the same thing.
Awesome.
It's actually Sweet Sea Kitty.
Yeah.
But I say Sweaty Kitty.
Thanks. Alright, I'm out.
Alright, you go have fun. Book, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Riz, it's me. Come on now. Are you really surprised? The good news is nobody who actually knows what they're doing has joined my stream and started clipping shit like that. Hey, what's going on, Nick? How you doing? Just Book showing off her ass. That's it. That's all you missed. Riz, I'm naughty every day, not just for the holidays, okay? I start December 26th on the naughty list, and I stay there until December 25th. Arthur Molly beats his wife live on stream. I mean, Squid. I mean, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about, right? Like, somebody that actually knows what they're doing, clipping that, and then titling it as that, and putting that up as a clip? Come on, now. Caught a bit of Big Puffer stream playing the DLC, got spoiled on maybe 3 Pokemon. Yeah, Nick, I've been, like... I was debating if I was going to do the DLC on stream, but I ended up playing a good chunk of the DLC during the day today while I was working, and so I was like, well, I don't want to just start streaming in the middle of the DLC, plus, I really want to get this Aerodactyl and Clobbopus done, and so I opted to not do the DLC on stream. Shared something in the food part of the Discord? Ooh. I'm intrigued now. Let me see. A Cheez-It gingerbread house. That is fucking amazing. I love that. But yeah, I'm trying to avoid DLC spoilers at least for a couple of days. So I'm not talking about anything specific, but the new iOS update for my phone is ass. I hate it. That's what you get for having an iPhone, Squid. You know what, Squid? Let me ask you. Can your iPhone do this? Huh? Can it? Can it do that? I don't think your iPhone can do that. Also, I don't know if you guys can see. Nah. My lock screen. Fuck your fold phone. Fuck you. Catch a shiny fletching, but not before his iconic angry shout. That is the VTuber Apricot, aka Fruit. That is who that is. Never heard of that? Dude. I don't know. Like, I would say she's my second favorite VTuber behind Iron Mouse. Why don't you fold book like that? Who says I don't, Riz? Huh? Who says I don't? I'd be having her all. Never mind. I asked Book about that. I'll fold your ass like an omelet, boy. God damn, Squid. Nah, see, I fold Book like a book, right? I get her just... favorite right now is Pastaroni Ravioli. I've never even heard of them. Thank you for the shiny luck, Red Shadow. Much appreciate. Again, I need all the shiny luck I can get right now. This Clobbopus is a pain in my ass. Does your bookmark reach that? Oh my god, I love it. Well known for a laugh, sounds like a car idling. Ah. Okay. Interesting. So, for Fruit, right? Her big thing she was known for was her art. She's extremely talented artist. But then after that, Zentreya got her playing Apex Legends. And she decided she was going to become as good at Apex as she could possibly get. And so I really started watching her when she was doing Apex streams. And this shit was so fucking great. Because, like, she's got super gremlin energy, but then she was also good at the game. And that combination was just too much for me. And then there's this. Yeah? Hang on, let me find it. The fuck? Okay, I guess it's the best I can get. This was her race queen model that she did. If it would show. Right, Squid? Dervish, Nova Beast, VR chat user streamer. Interesting. But yeah, that was Fruit's race queen model. I am not looking respectfully in the slightest, Squid. But aside from her model look, it just, god damn. She's actually been pretty entertaining and fun to watch. She hasn't streamed very much in the last, like, year, though. Like, so she's had a lot of drama surrounding her because of some shit that went down before she became a VTuber. And it kind of came to a head and she stepped away from streaming for a bit and was like, I just need some time to myself. I can't deal with the bullshit. And then she literally just came back and the V Shoujo drama dropped because she was part of V Shoujo. And so she's been kind of MIA for a bit, and I really wish she would come back because I fucking love her. She's so fun to watch. Dude, Carol, being a VTuber is the way to go if you're nervous about streaming because your face isn't there. Well, I think I did it for the first 3 years. You're not showing your face, your name isn't out there, nothing. It's just a character. But yeah, with Fruit, there was a whole thing where it was like, so she's from the UK and she met this guy online that was in the US and in the military. And they ended up getting together, this and that happened, they got married, and she moved to the US. Then it's a weird situation and it's conflicting reports, but essentially from what I can figure out, he was at the very least emotionally abusive and very controlling of her. And so she started like kind of pushing back on that. He cheated on her, she cheated on him, they got divorced, she moved back to the UK. After all that happened, her ex put out all this stuff that she cheated on him while he was deployed. She came back with receipts that he had broken up with her before the deployment and a bunch of other shit. And it's like, this all happened years before she became a VTuber. And so to me, even as somebody that was in the military, had their ex cheat on them when they weren't home. I wasn't deployed, but I wasn't home. I was away doing other shit, not deployed, but... And even for me, like, I'm like, yeah, like... I'm not saying what she did was right, but I'm not saying what she did was wrong either. That's kind of their business, and I don't really give a fuck. She was a bitch, he was an asshole. That's their problem. All I care about is she's really fun to watch. She's really sweet on stream. I enjoy her content, and so I watch it. Exactly, Nick. It's an ugly can of worms, and the problem is, you know how the internet is. You know, 99% of people just don't give a fuck, but 1% really fucking care, and they're really loud about it, and they make it everybody's problem. It's one of those. I would say the greatest good respect to not show their face or I'll name. I want to be honest. Yeah, exactly right. I mean, and that's what drew me to VTubing originally, because like I've always loved the idea of streaming, right? I've always loved the concept of being a content creator and streaming and stuff like that, but my self-confidence and everything else was very, very low. And yeah, Meta, the internet definitely latches on a drama. And so I never really had the confidence to do streaming where I show my face. I actually attempted to do game streams back when I was in college in like 2016, 2017. I attempted to do it. But I would just do no face cam or anything. It would just be audio, and it didn't really work out. And I just didn't like. Part of it was I didn't have the confidence for it, but part of it was like I had Book and the kids, and it was hard to like keep the background clear and keep the noise clear and everything else. And so I gave up on the idea of being a streamer. And then in 2021, I started working at Amazon. It was COVID era. And through Nuxtaku, I discovered Iron Mouse and Project Melody and the concept of VTubing. And I was like, holy shit, like, I would love to do that. I'm essentially a voice actor. I have an avatar. I have a character. And so I started developing the concept of Arthur Malik back then. And like, I would, I was working overnight, so I'd be driving to work, I'd be stuck in, bumper to bumper traffic. And while I'm stuck in traffic, I've got, Iron Mouse, Melody, Nanners, and Treya, all these VTubers on my phone while I'm sitting in traffic. And I'm sitting there the whole time like, I would love to do this, but when could I do it? When do I have the opportunity to stream? Like, I'm working 12-hour days a week, and I've got 3 days off, but I'm up at 3 in the afternoon, and by the time I can stream, Book and Llama are home, and then they're asleep, so I can't make noise and all this stuff. And so I like kept putting it off, like, no, I can't do it. Well, then I left Amazon, and I was like, well, fuck, I got nothing else to do. So I bought a really cheap VTuber model and just started streaming and doing just random shit. And that's what started me streaming. And for the first 3 years, I did VTubing. It was what I felt comfortable with. I didn't feel comfortable just being me on the stream. I wanted to have that character, that avatar, to be me and just hide behind the scenes. But all right, hold on, aerodactyl checks, and then I'll continue that. Nothing there. Nope. And nope. And like at some point I started like occasionally when I was drunk doing face cam stuff, right? Most of you who watch our small streamers from my friend is showing you over there. Nice. Be able to draw your own model for PNG tubing, but VTubing is a whole other ball game. It's expensive. It is expensive. But yeah, I started to like get it, having nights where I was just drunk and saying, fuck it, let's get rid of the VTuber, we'll do face cam. And the same people who were there when I was VTubing were the same people who were there when I was doing the face cam, right? And it started building my confidence and showing my face and being me on stream. And it got to a point where I realized, like, my personality and who I am, I'm somewhere in the middle between what you expect of a face cam streamer and what you expect of a VTuber, right? Like, I'm not completely unhinged, deranged, and, you know, Gen Z like your average VTuber is. And so I kind of realized I'm not going to make it as a VTuber. You know what I mean? I don't have the thing. I mean, most of your VTubers that are successful and reach that pinnacle have other talents. You know, they can sing or something. There's something else there that puts them above the rest. And I didn't have that. And I realized that. And I kind of got to the point where I realized, like, my choices are I either stop streaming or I just do face cam. Those are the two choices I have. Because I've reached the pinnacle of what I can do as a VTuber. And so I said, fuck it. I'm going to start doing face cam streams. And if things go well, I'll keep going. If things don't, I'll just stop. And things have been going fairly well since I've, you know, gone to doing face cams. You know, analytically, things are better now than they were as a VTuber. And so I continue to push, and I have faith in myself and my abilities as a content creator and as a streamer to have an entertaining stream and be fun for y'all to hang out with. And that's a weird thing for me, is having self-confidence. I don't know how to handle it. Arthur's special VTubing skill was getting drunk. Facts. Would have liked to use VTubers, but I feel like getting one made was too much work. Would I know how to kind of use one? What kind to use? I mean, that's the thing, Nick, is there's so much that goes into it. There is so much between figuring out the character design, the lore behind it, you know, how, like, the personality that you're trying to portray. Because what people don't realize is VTubing is voice acting. It's literally voice acting. That's what it is. But you're voice acting a character you created. And it's a fucking wild world. Vexoria has a husband, 2 children who are VTubing all the same, even with the LewTubing side. I'm sure you can do that again in the future. I mean, Riz, honestly, I get what you're saying. I do. I understand what you're saying. But when I look at the VTubers who are at a level that I want to one day be at, they all have things in common that I don't. There's something in their personality and the way they are that's just a slight difference from me. And that's what I came to realize was just like, where I'm at and with what I do, it doesn't work for VTubing, right? Hey, Volk, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, buddy. Welcome. So Volk, I actually was getting ready to start streaming. I saw that you were streaming, and I was like, fuck, I want to check your stream out. You see me as a big guy with an Amish beard, yet I've got a younger voice, so it's hard to find something that would fit. But that's the thing, Nick, is you create the character, and then you make the voice fit, right? You're playing the DLC. How you enjoying the DLC, Volk? Afraid of being doxxed if I were to stream, since the first part of my username is part of my first name. More mature username. No, I get you on that, Kara. I will say, in the early days, when I first started streaming, being doxxed was a huge worry for me. I was trying to stay very anonymous and everything else. And with my life the way it was like, this isn't going to work. Like, I can't maintain where I'm at. Something is gonna go wrong. Hey, let's go, Volk. I played through a good portion of the DLC today before stream. It's actually a lot of fun. You know, because, like, for me, like, I've got a family. I've got a wife and kids, and I'm trying to, like, you know, maintain this mystique as a VTuber, and I've got my family coming in, talking to me when I'm streaming, and I'm like, oh, fuck, like, trying to mute the mic and shit, and, like, I hope nobody heard that, and it just got too hard. And so eventually I was just like, all right, look, I'm gonna just be honest with you guys, I got a wife and kids. You know, and it's like, it just became super annoying for me. But that's a unique situation for me, you know what I mean? The baseball guys that hung around in college started calling me Kara the Sparrow. You know, the nickname ever since. I mean, I like the nickname. Dragon imitating Jake there. But yeah, so like, it's been a weird road over the last 3.5 years of streaming. It really has, because like, the changes and the transitions and stuff. But at the end of the day, like, I'm kind of happy with my decision. I shouldn't say kind of happy. Let me rephrase that. I'm happy with my decision to leave the VTuber behind and just be me. Being doxxed, your number one fear. Very careful with what you share and who I share with. Only one who's seen my face in the community. I mean, but that's the thing, Squid, is like, if you're gonna go that route, you have to have, like, that level. And it's super hard for me to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it was really hard for me to keep everything a secret. And even now, like, I'm super afraid of being fully doxxed as a face game streamer. Some days you want a VTuber model for, like, when I look like dog water or very sick. So yeah, Volk, you don't know this. I was a VTuber for the first 3 years I streamed. I only started doing face cam streams this year. But yeah, like, I get that, like, wanting that anonymity. That was the thing that was, like, so strong for me in the beginning that I loved, because, one, I don't want my family to face any bullshit because of my streaming, right? That's the big thing. I don't want Book and my kids becoming a, you know, a target of any kind. But it's also like, you know, I've lived a life. Like, y'all see the gray hairs in my beard. I fucking lived a life. I've done shit. And there's shit in my past that, like, if I were to, like, blow up and become super big and become a household name, would come out, and I'd have to deal with that, and I don't want to. And so as a VTuber, I didn't have to do any of that. Thank you for the shiny luck, Caro. And, yeah, no, you have, get some rest, feel better, and we'll see you next time. But thank you for stopping in tonight. You know, I can tell you, like, nobody's gonna come out and say I did anything, like, illegal or super immoral or anything like that. But there's shit about my life I'd like to keep private. And VTubing kind of ensured that it would. Now that the face is out there, if I were to blow up, higher chance somebody recognizes me, and I definitely have that fear. You know what I mean? Like, my personal life is my personal life. I don't need that shit becoming common knowledge. Let your art speak instead of perceptions. Yes! That right there. Here and there was some stuff that super personal, but it wasn't overshared on the internet yet. True. But that, right? It lets the art speak for itself. And that, with VTubing, was such a major motivator for me. And what I loved about the art form and loved about that style of content creation was the content was the content. It didn't matter what I looked like. It didn't matter how I handled myself on camera. It was either good content or it wasn't. And that is such an understated part of VTubing. Is because, like, people have that ingrained perception, right? Where it's like you see somebody, you see something, and you make a judgment just based off of that. And with VTubing, it removes that, right? The VTuber is the VTuber. As long as you have a model that doesn't just turn people off immediately, which is pretty hard to do, you're good. You just got to make sure that, you know, the audio is right. Opposite approach, and I will just say about anything, I'm pretty open. If someone were to come forth with something I have said or done in the past, I'm not. I mean, and that I will say, like, I mean, you guys have heard me before. You know, I'm not the type to be like, oh no, I would never say that. Blah blah. No, I'm like, yeah, I fucking said it. You know, like I talked at length about how my goal as a content creator is to have somebody try to cancel me. I long for the day that somebody tries to cancel me. Because I'm going to have the best fun I've ever had in my life dealing with that. Because my response is just going to be, go fuck yourself. Right? I'm not going to be like, oh no, like, I'm so sorry. No, oh my god, I didn't mean it. No, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I fucking said it, and I fucking meant it. Fuck you. That's gonna be my response. And so it's not about that, but it's just personal shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's stuff that's about my life that I want to remain private. Like, it's my fucking life. It's personal to me, and I don't want that shit out there. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to have your personal life remain your personal life. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And I think everybody can agree with that. We all have shit about our life that we would rather have be our life and not have it be public knowledge. You know? It's a facet of life. And so, yeah, like, now that I'm a face cam streamer, you know, I have those worries that the wrong people will come across my stream and shit will get out, but at the same time, fuck it. If it gets out, it gets out. You know, I'm just me. I am who I am. I'm Arthur. I'm a fucking dickhead. I'm a drunk. I'm an asshole. You don't like it? Fuck off. I don't really give a shit. I'm just here to enjoy myself, have a little fun. I built a nice little community. The same people have been fucking popping in watching me for 3 years now. I'm good with where I'm at. I don't give a fuck. You know, I was talking about the other night, like, I don't have, you know, 100 viewers every night, but the people who watch me, I'm across the board their most watched streamer every year when the Twitch recap comes out. And I'm good with that. The fact that there's fucking 8 of you whose Twitch recap says you watch me more than anybody else tells me I'm doing something right. It tells me I'm on the right track, and I'm good with that. And I'm happy with that. And I don't really give a fuck about the rest. Outside looking in, you're pretty open. You're open about your struggles at life and shit, and that's awesome. Inspired me to be a bit more open as well. Had surgery, but you keep squid. See, that right there. All right, I'm gonna get sappy here for a minute, okay? That right there from Squid is why I'm still here streaming to 8 people after 3 years. 3.5 years of streaming. That right there is why I haven't just given up and walked away. Because I constantly get messages like that from people. And it like knowing I'm making that difference, even if it's just for one person, keeps me motivated to come back. Because I just look at that kind of message and I'm like, if I had just walked away 2 years ago when I didn't just blow up immediately like most streamers do, where would Squid be right now? You know? It just knowing that I'm giving people more positivity in their life, more confidence and things of that nature, it keeps me coming back. It keeps me streaming. Even when things are bad and shit's fucked up in my life and I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? That's the kind of shit that keeps me coming back. We're trying to watch Twitch between work and family. You barely have time. Wife's pretty much chewing on your arm to get you to watch a movie right now. No, I get you on that, Volk. It is hard. I mean, again, like, I've got a full-time job, I've got a wife and kids, and I stream. It's a lot, and it's hard to balance it all. It really is. I fully understand where you're coming from. Popped over to chair to get credit game back, but actually saw a spoiler. Ah, sweaty kitty, no spoilers. That's why I'm still doing this shit, because I'm trying to avoid spoiling. I'm sorry you saw a spoiler. I gotta do my shiny roll on Jer's stream real quick. Ah, shitty roll. You know. Am I looking at a mirror right now? Dude, Volk, I mean, it's life, right? I mean, dude, so, Volk, you're new to the channel, so you don't know a lot of the shit. You don't know a lot of the lore and the backstory and shit. But, I mean, dude, my youngest son just turned 16. Okay, like I said, do you see the gray hairs in the beard? Like... you know, it's... trying to ooh, we got a stinky pussy. We got a stinky pussy. Not shiny. Damn it. Don't make me feel old with you. I'm sorry, Riz. But I mean, yeah, dude, I'm about to turn 42 this month. Alright, as a streamer, I'm an old fuck. As a VTuber, I was a grandfather, okay? Like... They call, like, early 30s hags for VTubers. You couldn't make out the grays. Briz, how you feeling old at 26, motherfucker? Come on now. Yeah, dude. I mean, I've seen some shit in my life. I've done some shit. There you go, sweaty kitty. Hey, congrats there, Volk. Dude, cherish those days, man. You're gonna blink and they're gonna be turning 16 and dealing with all that shit. But, you know, it's, for me, this is the kind of shit I want to do. I want to stream games. I want to have fun and talk to people and do my thing. And I make time for my wife and kids in between. Like, you know, those, like I said, you know, the last year, you guys have dealt with me not being able to stream a lot because I've been coaching my son's baseball team and shit. Like, being called Unk in their 20s. Dude, Riz, this new gen is fucking wild. But, you know, I've still managed to balance it out. God damn, Nick, I didn't realize you were 37. Happy to see somebody else around my age. All your employees called you old man at 25 as most of them were 16 to 18. So, Volk, I was in the Army. I joined at 25. I turned 26 in basic. I was older than 2 of the 3 drill sergeants I had. I only had 1 drill sergeant that was older than me in basic. That's where I really started feeling old. I'm sitting there a fucking private, at 25, taking orders from a 22-year-old staff sergeant. You looked in your teens because you had a young face. Riz, it's only like in the last year to 2 that I've started getting carded when I buy alcohol. Ever since the grays and the beard started coming in the last year or 2, I've started getting carded. But up until that, I was like 38, 39, 40, still getting carded for alcohol. If I were to actually just shave, I look so much younger than I am. All I'd have to do is shave the beard, and I would start getting carded again. Shaving the beard takes 10 years off minimum. And that's 2801 on clobbopus, by the way. You'd be exposing your double chin. I mean, honestly, I would too. So we're talking about alcohol illegally. The guy, the self-checkout was eyeing you the whole. Dude, I would. All right. My 21st birthday, me and my ex went to this restaurant together, and I ordered a drink, and they didn't fucking card me. I was so mad. It was my first drink I bought legally, and I didn't get carded. I was so fucking angry. No, Meta, if you want to yell bald, I just take off the hat. Now you can yell bald. Sweet. I still love you, but you know it makes me feel without the... So I will say, like, Book hates it when I shave the beard. Yeah, Nick, same here. I've shaved my beard twice in 11 years with Book. And both times she walked in the door, saw me without the beard, and went, "What the fuck did you do to your face?" She was so angry. Last time she had a hard time looking at you. I love it. So, like, and both times it was because I was looking for a job and I was trying to be, like, professional for the job interviews and stuff. And she literally came home and looked at me and was like, "Why? What did you do to yourself? Why did you do this?" She hates it when I shave my beard. Now, when I shave my head, this look, the bald head and beard, she actually likes this look. I don't get it. I've been doing this look for 6 years now? Off and on for 6 years, the bald head and the beard. She fucking loves this look. I don't get it. I wear a hat on stream every night. Because I'm like, I don't know about this shit. I'm just gonna wear a hat. But Book fucking loves this look. And so I keep doing it. And even better, this is all I do now, right? I have this thing, and I literally just go. And I'm done. That's all I have to do to keep my head bald now. If your mom saw you, I would have to end stream because she's in the bald bed and I don't see the appeal. Hey Riz, tell your mom I said what's up. Smart woman, we have the same case. But I will also say, even when I had hair, I still always wore a hat because I have really shitty, like, thinning Polish hair. I've looked like I've been balding since I was in high school. I've had thinning hair since high school. My dad, full head of curly hair all the way up until he died. My grandfather, he's in his 80s now. Full head of curly hair. Fucking immaculate. Me? Nah, I get my mom's side of the family where I've got a bald spot at 17. Fuck you, Mom. And your fucking genetics. So now, my hair used to be pretty thick up until your senior year in high school. Dude, I never had thick hair. I never had thick hair. It was always super thin. I couldn't do anything with it. It always looked like shit. Book, you have good taste. Nick even pointed, you two look similar. I fucking love it. Dude, I don't get it. I don't know why, personally, I don't know why Book likes this. You have your dad's Hispanic curls, but over time it turns straight. You blame your mom's side. Uncles and grandpa were bald. And that kind of bald where it's in the middle with the hair. Yeah, so that's the thing is now I can feel it when I shave. There's a spot back here where like the hair's not really growing anymore and you can see the outline like this here where my hairline is. It's been like this. I've had this hairline since I was in high school where I've had like a fucking point here. I had this fucking widow's peak shit. Looking like a fucking middle-aged man since I was in high school. Shit is dumb as fuck. And then I look at Llama, and Llama is right back to his fucking grandparents. This motherfucker has a fucking afro. Right? He will go and get his hair cut and get it cut down really nice and short. And within a month, he's got a fucking fro again. Just these thick fucking curls. And it literally takes like a month after his haircut and just afro again. I thought you'd be higher than that, Meta. Nah, I wouldn't do the wig, Riz. I'm honestly comfortable being bald. I'm perfectly fine with this. One, it's just easier to maintain. When I go in the shower, instead of having to worry about shampooing my hair, I just take a bar of soap and go, and I'm done. And two, when I get up in the morning, I don't gotta worry about styling it or putting gel or anything of that. I just take some lotion up my head a bit so it doesn't dry out, and I'm good to go. It's so much easier. There's zero maintenance. But I will say, at the same time, I fucking hate that Llama's got that big afro. It pisses me off so much. Because I'm like, when he like gets out of the shower and it's wet and it's just coming down and straight, he's got this like rock star look, and I'm like, I wanted that rock star look my whole fucking life, and I just could not achieve it. Like, my hair didn't grow thick enough to have it. I literally went a year without cutting my hair and didn't even come close to what Llama gets in a month. And I'm like, oh, you asshole. If I had that hair, the shit I would do with it. You never style it either, you just let your hair live. What, Squid? But dude, I'm so jealous of my son. Hey, Squid, you got another alpha shiny Dratini. Are you fucking with me? I can't even get clobbopus, and you've gotten 2 Shalfa Dratinis. You know, here's like that his dad is Puerto Rican, so he has the curly afro type and the booty, then the white skin. So that's the thing, is like he's got the afro, but when he actually like styles it and like gets it going, he can get that rock star look, and I'm like, you motherfucker! Squiddy, you know what? I fucking hate you right now. There's no other way around it. You've gotten 2 Shalfa Dratinis. Not only have I not gotten the Shalfa Dragonite from Zone 20 yet, but I still don't have this fucking clobbopus yet. And you've gotten 2 Shalfa Dratinis? Fuck you, Squid. I'm happy for you, but fuck you. It was the opposite of nobody's happy for you. I went the reverse angle on that one. Clobbopus, you motherfucker. Shine already. We're over 2,800. What is going on here? Alright, I gotta go. Wait. Oh, wait. Aerodactyl checks. I missed that. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. And nothing there. You started. God damn it, Squid. What the fuck, dude? You just gotta rub salt in the wounds, really? When the way I've been mentally, you're doing this at your own pace. Or with the way you've been. No, I mean, meta, I get it. You do what you gotta do, dude. I'm gonna go refill my drink. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I decided to pee and fuck with book while I was up. And my head is getting cold now because it's like 48 degrees. So yeah, I needed to put the beanie back on. My bald... Dude, I will say this. Being bald, your head gets so fucking cold for no reason. Like, the rest of me is fine. I'll be in, like, shorts and a t-shirt, and I'm like, I need my beanie. So, yeah, I have a beanie on most days now, except for, like, in the summer. Name the Dragonite? Ooh. That's a good question. It's gonna be... As a mega, it's gonna be like a baby blue, right? So what would you name a baby blue dragon? Do you rest your head on Book's chest to keep it warm? Every chance I get. Every chance I get. What would you name a baby blue dragon? I don't know. I don't know. Name it Bluey. Here's the thing, I don't nickname my Pokemon ever. Ever. I don't do it. It's just not something I do. So when people are like, what's your name is? I don't fucking know. The blue dragon from Dragon Tales. I don't, I got nothing. What about Puff? Are y'all too young to know Puff the Magic Dragon? It was a kid's show, and the entire show was a fucking euphemism for smoking weed. Balls? I doubt it's balls. I suck at names too, Riz. I suck at names too. I'm not too... Okay, Volk knows Puff. Puff the Magic Dragon lives by the sea. I love that was like a kid's show, and the entire thing was a euphemism for getting high. Like, what the fuck? The 90s were fucking weird. His name shall be Puff? Fuck yes, Squiddy. No! What, No, it wasn't a movie, it was a TV show. I'm telling you, it was a TV show. Hang on. I will fucking find this shit. It was literally a TV show. Or maybe it was a movie. Yeah, I thought it was a show. No, it was at least a movie, if not a song. Or a movie, if not a show. I remember watching this shit as a kid.
Worlds and wonder, of moons and magic. And moving through this universe was the familiar old world of cities and streets, of trees and cars. And there, in an ordinary house, on an ordinary chair, was a boy in whose head...
Yeah, this. Okay, that's what it is.
Old universe of worlds and wonder, of moons and magic. And moving through this universe was a familiar old world of cities and streets.
Yeah, it exists. It was literally a kid's thing, and it was based off of a song about getting high. And it was like the kid had this imaginary friend called Puff the Magic Dragon who would take him on adventures. So food coma. No, it wasn't the music video. It was, they literally showed it to us in school. There was more than a music video. Yeah, a 28-minute music video, Dragon. I found the entire episode on YouTube. It was an animated short, but it was like a kid's, it was like a very short kids movie. Nick, Guns N' Roses November Rain. The unedited, like the actual full version. Well, that sucks, Volk. Don't let that happen. Because I want to finish this fucking hunt, Walsh. That's why no DLC. There's the proof, Dragon. Let's just drop it. It exists. That's all there's to it. That would crash out. So, Walsh, do you remember Puff the Magic Dragon? I'm not questioning the 30-minute music video. I'm questioning what I remember from my childhood. There's a difference. When I got here, you look zooted as fuck listening to it. I'm actually not zooted. I've just had a lot of Jim Beam tonight. Instead of beer, I've been drinking Jim Beam and Diet Coke. I decided to take a break from the beer. But yes, I am familiar now with the show, with the song. Do you not remember the animation, like the animated show, the kid show for it? By that logic, Wicked and Greatest Showman are music vids. I mean, any musical is a music video at that point. You could say Aladdin is. Arthur's default state is zooted. I mean, have you seen me? I definitely look zooted. I'm not that old, buddy. I mean, you're closer to my age than most of these fuckers, dude. I was hoping somebody in your family had culture. Oh, speaking of culture, I was watching The Covenant on Netflix yesterday, and it's a good movie. All right, it's a good movie. Not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. However, the only thing accurate about The Covenant, as far as its portrayal of the military goes, is how homoerotic all of the soldiers were with each other. Outside of that, very inaccurate portrayal of the military. But all the guys making like homoerotic jokes towards each other, full on accurate. Doesn't get any better than that. Just putting that out there for anybody that's watched the movie or wants to watch the movie. It's so, like, here's the thing. For me, having served, I see military movies and all I can do is pick them apart. Like, oh, that wouldn't really happen. That's not what the uniforms look like. He wouldn't have that patch. Like, I'm, like, super anal about shit. And I pick everything apart when I watch military movies now. The one thing that got right was all the guys joking about fucking each other. Because that's 100% real. I'm a very different stage of your life than other people my age. 27, married with a 5-year-old son. I mean, so Volk, like, it's becoming less normal now. But that's fairly standard for a lot of people. That's not really that abnormal. Like, that's kind of how it's supposed to go. Like, so I can tell you, like, for me, my youngest was born in 2009, which would have put me at 26 when he was born, right? And so my youngest is 16, my daughter is 18 and a half. And so for me, it works out perfectly, right? Like, when you look at it from a, like, logical perspective, okay? I was able to raise my kids when I was young enough to be fully functioning and be a part of their childhood, right? I could go and do things with them. I could coach my son's baseball team. I could do all these things for them. But when I'm hitting my 60s and I start to really decline in my abilities and I start reaching retirement, my kids are going to be old enough to help support me and take care of me and see me through my senior years. And do that at a point in their life where, like, they're in between stages in their kids as well. And that's kind of where you want that sweet spot to land. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, when you look at financially these days, it's a lot harder now. Because trying to fucking raise a family in this economy is fucking shit. Hey, let's go, Walsh. Nah, dude. My daughter won't be able to. So like I talked about, my daughter is special needs. She's severely autistic. She had leukemia when she was an infant, went through radiation and shit at 2 years old. She's fucked up. She'll be lucky to be able to take care of herself at any point in her life. But my son is fully functioning. He's normal as can be. So he'll at least be in a position where, like, if needed, he can rent a place with an extra bedroom and I can assist him with the fucking finances. So he'll at least be able to fucking take care of me. Yeah, Nick, shit happens, dude. She's an active little girl so far in there and just ready to meet my little besties. Hell yeah, Walsh. Dude, I'm really excited for you. Becoming a dad is such a fucking... It, like, trips a switch in you. And it just changes shit so much. That's if Mrs. Llama wants that to happen. Walsh, come on, it's me. Do you see me being a problem for anybody? Give me a room, a computer, and some beer. And I'm good. I'm not gonna bother anybody. Nobody's even gonna know I'm there. Oh, that's a good point, Squid. Walsh has no idea what's about to happen. Walsh has no idea. Oh, really, Nick? I'm pretty sure I'm on the spectrum, but nobody's officially diagnosed it yet. What I can tell you is, what led to my daughter's diagnosis was I was talking a book one day, and I was like, I'm pretty sure my daughter's autistic. And she goes, why do you think that? And I started listing off all the reasons, all the things I saw in her that I understood as an adult were signs of autism. And I was, what was I? This would have been 6 years ago, 7 years ago. So I would have been in my mid-30s at this point. And so I'm listing off all the reasons I think my daughter's autistic. In the middle of giving my reasoning, I just stopped and went, fuck! And I went, why, what? And I went, I just described myself. Am I fucking autistic? So literally all the reasons I thought my daughter was autistic and what led me to get her tested for autism was fucking things that were true about me. I know what you want me to say, but if I do trying to bring extra around, he's not gonna want dad down the way. Do the pumpkin scoop or some just counted up behind a curtain. Never test either. I have suspicions though. Once had to put a spoon back into the drawer because it didn't feel right. Severely ADHD since 4 and autistic, waiting to get tested, therapeutic as confirmed, but he paperwork. See, so that's the thing, okay? For me, I realized a lot of my shit as an adult. And it's not like there's medication they can give you, things like that, for autism. And so because of that, I've never pursued an official diagnosis, right? You're trying to understand why people think it's not financially feasible to raise a family at my age. These days, we've been a single-income home since we were 18. There's a lot of reasons. Like, here's the thing. Like, let's look at the kid thing. From an economic standpoint, bringing a child into the world right now, unless you are one of the lucky ones, is probably not a good idea. Okay? Most of the people I know who are in a career, they have degrees, they're moderately successful, they're in a stable relationship, they're like, fuck having kids. Because they're living paycheck to paycheck now in a 2-income household. Right? And so it's not that they don't want kids, they literally can't fucking afford to have a kid. And that's a big problem right now. When you start explaining yourself to someone about someone else, it really does just make you go, fuck. Right, Meta? The vast majority of places in America, the income isn't even close to cost of living. And that's the problem, Dragon. That is the problem. In Tampa, Florida, the minimum recommended income to have a kid is $120,000 a year. That is the minimum recommended income for a household. And that's a 2-family household. If I was not established in my career, my wife... Yeah, exactly, Walsh. Baby formula loan is like $20 now. Diapers cost even more. Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You're currently scared, don't want to think about it. Oh God, Sweaty Kitty. You know, like, here's the thing, okay? When I had my first kid, I could have supported my family, me, my ex, and my kid on a little over $2,000 a month. I could have actually provided a decent life on $25,000 a year. Now, you're looking at $100,000 more to provide a decent life in the state of Florida. It's fucking insane. Mid six figures for a non-government assistance household. Facts. It's irresponsible in making it hard for them, at least in my area. I didn't start making over 50K a year until I was 25. We always had so here's the thing, Volk. Like, for your area, that might be true. Right? For your area, that might be true. But when you look at, like, where I live, Tampa, Florida, a 2-bedroom domicile, apartment, house, whatever you're gonna rent, a 2-bedroom in a neighborhood where you're not afraid to go outside at night is going to cost you minimum $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 a year right off rip on rent. Your electric bill is going to cost you another $3,000 a year. Now you're at 27. Well, guess what? We don't have any kind of public transit or anything around here. So you're going to need a car. So now between your car payment and your insurance, where I live, you're looking at $600 a month. Okay? That's another $1,400 a year. You're already up to 40K. You're already up to 30K a year. Already up to 30K a year. Just on rent, electric, and car. When you factor in groceries, gas, fucking phone bill, etc., you can't get by on one income. You can't do it. Right? So now, you need a second income, which means you need a second car, which means your insurance goes up, and that's another $600 a month to add a second car. And now that's extra gas and extra maintenance, etc. So yeah, when you look at the full package, it's 6 figures for a family of 3. Because then it's a 2-family household. So you need to have daycare and babysitters and all that other shit. Right? It fucking adds up, dude. Me and Book don't do anything. We don't. We go to work, we come home, we eat dinner, we play games, we go to bed. The only real expense we have is once or twice a week, we'll get our dinner from Uber Eats because we just don't have the time and the energy to go to the grocery store, buy something, and make dinner. That's literally our only extra expense is Uber Eats. Like, and then when you factor in all the shit that comes with a kid, formula, diapers, clothes, all that extra shit, and then as they get older, fucking paying for health insurance. I fucking pay $600-700 a month for insurance for me, Book, and Llama. Right? Yeah, and then car insurance, medical bills, random other expenses that come up in life. The shit fucking adds up. It really does. And so, like, that's the big problem, is it's not financially responsible in most areas to have kids. And when I say most areas, I mean most areas where there are people. right? You look out in the country and shit like that where there's not a high population density, the cost to live and have a kid is drastically decreased. But 90% of your population in this country lives relatively close to a major city. And the cost of living is insane. But that's the thing, Volk. You shouldn't qualify for government assistance if you're making $40,000 a year. You should be able to fucking live off that. Be able to still live with your grandma and not have to pay rent or anything. How much your sister's struggling. Right, Squid? So, I agree with that, Dragon. 40 is full-time, it's the same as 60 is the 4. But that's the thing. Like, if you work 40 hours a week, you should be able to fucking survive. You pay by a portion of retirement on your society full $1,200 a month. I mean, so like for me, like I have a good job, and I'm medically retired from the army. I make good money. Okay, I'm not gonna fucking lie about it. I make good money. I could not support my family on my income alone, on the income I have. I couldn't do it. It's not even survive versus thrive though, Walsh. It's survive comfortably versus thrive. Like, I could survive on my income alone, but we would live in a really shitty neighborhood. Llama would be going to a really shitty school. And we wouldn't go outdoors at night. And that's my... Like, that's my line. Like, that's my... Like, rule on this, right? Is being able to live comfortably. Where your shit is paid, you're good to go, you've got a little extra money to do some shit with if you want to, and you're comfortable going outside the front door at night. You know, and where I live, on my income alone, that wouldn't be true. Shouldn't have to scrape by and eat fucking cheese sandwiches every day just to rent a shitty apartment. Exactly. And that's the problem right now, like in Tampa, is on your income alone, that's all you're gonna get. If you've got a 2-income household in a 1-bedroom apartment, you can probably get a decent place where you don't have to be afraid and you can actually live properly. When you add a kid into that, it's not fucking happening. Oh, alright. Hey, Volk, good night, buddy. Thank you for showing up tonight. Appreciate you being here, buddy. At least I'll be able to work in a couple... Yeah, that's the one advantage to my current job, Nick, is I work from home most of the time. And that eases a lot of our stress. Like, since I've been working from home the last 3 months, our our financial situation has improved tremendously. Because I'm home to, you know, take care of things around the house. Cook dinner, shit like that. Whereas before, I'm getting home at 5 in the evening and we're fucking scrambling to make shit happen. You know, and I'm not putting gas in the truck all the time. I'm not having to worry about you know, maintenance and tires and all that shit because it's just sitting in the driveway. No, I feel on that, Nick. But yeah, I mean, like, my job gave me a laptop to work from. Oh shit, aerodactyl checks. Alright, hang on, let me find one more clobbopus here. Fucker still won't shine. Two of us, upstate New York is rough. In-work healthcare, just switched jobs and have, oh damn. Nothing box 1 or box 2 or box 3, nothing box 4, nothing box 5. Aerodactyl's been mean lately. But yeah, it's just like, it's hard right now to start a family in a situation where it's financially responsible. There's something about something else ready to, oh fuck. But yeah, like, you know, and like I said, like, you know, when I first moved to Florida, in a 2-bedroom, like, here's the thing, when I joined the army in 2009, okay? The apartment me and my ex shared, we had a 2-bedroom apartment, and we were paying $750 a month for that apartment. $750 a month for that apartment. Now, that exact same apartment is over $2,000 a month. For the same fucking apartment. Over $2,000 a month. And the wages have not gone up that much. You know, like when we were living there, I was a car salesman and she was a cashier at a grocery store. We had all our bills paid. We did what we had to do. We took care of our daughter. Everything was fine. We weren't living in luxury, but we weren't stressed. You know what I mean? And now, I mean, her job, it's an extra, I think it would pay $3 an hour more now than it did then. So the cost of that apartment has gone up $1,300. And her job would pay an extra $400. That's not sustainable. Your scrappy trailer is over $1,000 a month. They want us to buy it for $55. Fuck that. Okay. Hey, Dragon with the shiny. That's 2 streams in a row with a shiny from the PCG. Alright, so here, let me show you this. This is like... So you're talking about $1,000 a month, right? Right, $2,000 a month gets you a townhouse. That's 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Right? almost 1750, nothing included, no electric or anything, gets you an apartment that's 2 bedrooms for $1,700 a month. You pay your electric, you pay your water, $1,700. $1,800 a month gets you this, which is essentially a trailer. 2 bedrooms, 1,000 square foot. $1,900 a month. An 1,100 square foot 2 bedroom apartment. There we go. $1,500 a month, you get this place. That they won't even show you the apartment, really. Right? And like, the wages where I'm at aren't any different. Like, or actually, I shouldn't say that. The wages where I'm at are a lot less than New York. Our minimum wage here in Florida is a lot less. Now, we don't have state income tax, which helps. But the rest of our expenses are the same. You could afford a mortgage of $600, $800. Yeah. See, that's what I'm trying to get across the book right now, Nick. Oh, yeah. No, our car insurance is a lot higher here. The car insurance and the homeowner's insurance in Florida is exceptionally higher. Like, for Nick, for a decent place around Tampa, our mortgage would be at least $3,000 a month. For a decent place. For $2,000 a month. $1,500 if we're super lucky. We might be able to get a trailer. But you know what the problem in owning a trailer in Tampa is? Fucking hurricanes. You know what trailers don't deal well with? Hurricanes. Like, literally, because me and Book have looked at buying a house. Between homeowners insurance, property taxes, and everything else, we're looking at $2,000 a month minimum for a shitty house in a shitty neighborhood in order to buy a house. For a reasonable house where Llama could be in a good school district, where we could have like a decent house in a decent neighborhood, our mortgage would be $2,000 a month. And that's just like looking for the bare minimum. Just a decent house in a decent school district. We're looking at $2,000 a month minimum. Minimum. Same in Oklahoma, tornadoes rip through your shit and then you don't have insurance on your trailer, so you're out of luck. Right? The difference is here, they won't even give you the insurance. I have a buddy that's in a trailer. It's a fucking 1-bedroom trailer. And he's paying $1,500 a month in total everything. Between mortgage, insurance, and property tax. And the fucking lot rent. $1,500 a month for a 1-bedroom trailer. Viewpoints back home that are reasonably priced are in well-maintained condition. Some here completely renovated. See, you're lucky, Nick. Supposed to be a 3-bedroom trailer, it feels more like a 2. Dude. It's why I've been trying to get booked to leave Florida for the last few years. Like, it's not sustainable here. It really isn't. The cost of living has skyrocketed since COVID. So the problem is here, right? Pre-COVID, So here's a perfect example. Llama has this friend, right? 2017, they bought their house for $350,000. Not even 10 years later, that same house they can put on the market for $850,000, and it will sell immediately. Because what happened was COVID hit, and two things happened in Florida. One was all these investment companies saw the low cost of housing, and they started buying up properties to turn into rentals. So all these houses that used to sell for $250,000 to $350,000 were bought up and turned into rental properties for $2,500 to $3,000 a month. The other thing that happened was Florida was one of the few states that didn't have all those COVID regulations. And so people started moving here in droves. And so you had all these people from like New York and shit selling their houses there for $1 million and buying a house here for $400,000 cash. And it just skyrocketed the property values. You had houses that in 2019 were selling for $250,000 that are selling for $400,000 plus today. Like, and that's the low end of the spectrum. Low end. Most property values doubled since COVID. And it priced out your average home buyer. And so now, in order to buy a house here, you either need to be able to pay cash for it, or you need to make over $100,000 a year. And in most cases, closer to $120,000 to $150,000 a year, in that range, in order to buy a decent house in this area. And the wages have not grown to reflect that. And so you're seeing a mass exodus from Tampa and from Florida in general, because people who are working your day-to-day jobs, working food service and retail and shit like that, can't afford to live here on the wages. And so you're seeing a lot of like people from up in the Northeast move here, and you're seeing a lot of retirees move here, but you're seeing a lot of the working population leave. You're seeing a lot of people who would normally be starting families either leaving or not starting families, and it's fucking everything up. Cheaper but minimum so low here. Not changed since your register was 7. Yeah, exactly, Kitty. That's the problem. Exactly, Meadow. Living on your own is impossible. I mean, like, I was at Amazon. I had a coworker of mine, a friend of mine. It was just him. He had a 1-bedroom apartment. 1 bedroom. And he was paying $1,800 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment in Tampa. $1,800 for a 1-bedroom. And he was making... What was he making? $50K a year? And when you factor in the expenses to drive to and from work, the fucking insurance rates, everything else, he was living paycheck to paycheck in a 1-bedroom apartment with a good job. It's fucking insane. Fuck, what time is it? Oh, fuck, I didn't take my meds. I completely lost track of time in that conversation. God damn it. I'm so fucked. I am not gonna have a good morning. Oh, fuck. Oh, cool. I found the little one that fell. Hang on. I gotta see what my earliest meeting is tomorrow because... I'm gonna need to wake up a little later than usual. Alright, cool. I can wake up a little later than usual. I don't have a meeting until like 11. Hang on. Let me adjust my alarm. $7.25. Everyone was like $16.20 for a single person. Yeah, but that's how it is in most places, Squid. And that's the problem. Like, that's honestly the problem. It's like that in a lot of places. Like I said, they said the minimum wage, like the minimum income to start a family in Tampa is $120,000 a year. That's the minimum recommended income where I live. And that's insane. That the minimum recommended income to start a family is $120,000 a year. Unless you're working at least 30 hours, you can't afford to. Dude, Nick, for a lot of people where I live, working 2 jobs isn't enough for a reasonable living. Never mind 30 hours a week. I know people working 60 to 80 who are struggling. And that's not right. And that's $2,900 for clobbopus. Still no shiny. Yeah, Squid, that's... I was just seeing that myself on another depressing note. But it's... Yeah. For clobbopus. It's unfortunate, dude. It really is. You know, like, honestly, as much as I've hated Florida for the 22 years I've been here, there's a lot of reasons I'd love to stay. You know, I've got my alma mater, USF, is building an on-campus stadium next year. You know, I've got friends here. You know, I've gotten used to the community. Book's got her family here. We've got the ranch. There's a lot of reasons I would love to stay here. And I wish it was affordable. But the fact of the matter is, you know, I've had to accept that if I stay in the Tampa area, I will never own a home. I will rent until the day I die. And there's no way around that. For the cost of living, I will never own a home here. And so I've had to look at all the angles and realize if I want the life I live, I need to leave Tampa. I need to go somewhere where the cost of living is lower, where the cost of home ownership is lower, and make a life there. And if I was on my own, I'd be gone. If it was just me, I'd leave. But I'm not. It's not just me. I gotta worry about Book, and I gotta worry about Llama, and I gotta figure out, you know, how to make it make sense for them and convince them that it's necessary and that it's the right choice, and that's not as easy. You know? Like, Book doesn't want to leave her family. Her family's an hour away from us, her mom and dad. Like, she doesn't want to leave that. She doesn't want to have to be, you know, a 2-hour flight away. She wants to be able to just drive an hour when she wants to see her parents. And I understand that. I get that. I have a lot of sympathy for that. But at the end of the day, she's got to make that choice. Do you want to keep renting shitty houses? Or do you want to buy a place that we can make our own and live the rest of our lives in? And yeah, exactly. I mean, for Llama, like, he's got his friends here. He doesn't want to leave them. I know that. It's fucking tough. Your family's in New York, or mom's in New York, or his dad is in Texas. It's a tough call for us. No, I mean, I get that a lot, Nick. And, you know, Walsh has it kind of the same. Like, he's been trying to leave New York as well, but, you know, for him and his wife, they've got the support network and shit in the family, and it's a hard decision to make. Like, I was talking with, me and Llama were up at the ranch, deer hunting a couple weeks ago, and we went out to dinner together, and I was talking about this. Like, you know, shit's tough. Like, you gotta figure this shit out and make a decision as an adult, as a man. Like, what do I do in this situation? How do I make this work? And it's not always an easy decision to make. You're not leaving anyone, mainly due to political nature, but it's also cost effective to remain here. But you're in a better situation than most, Walsh, but you were trying to leave just a few months ago. So don't act like staying there has always been the best decision for you. You know? But like I was telling Llama just a few weeks ago, like, you know, I'm in a position now where as a man, as a father, I need to make a decision. Do I stay where I'm at and just tough it out and hope it works out? Or do I pull the trigger and leave for a place that's gonna offer a better life and hope for the fucking best and accept that me making that decision might end in divorce and all kinds of other shit? You know, it's a fucking tough decision to make. You know, it's not easy. So yeah, I mean, like you figured out how to make it work, Walsh. My point was, like, it wasn't long ago that you were in the same boat as the rest of us. Like, I need to get the fuck out of here. You figured out how to make it work, but you also have a very unique situation that a lot of people don't have. You know, and like I talked about before, like, you know, me and Book have been having some, you know, personal issues that we've been working through. And so, like, trying to figure out the correct path for our future, while also determining if there is a future, is fucking insanely difficult to do, right? Like, you know, right now we've put the idea of moving on hold, you know, because we came to the agreement that in the current situation, the idea of moving, you know, at that to that degree and getting so far away from everything and all that just is way more stress than a relationship can handle right now. Like, it doesn't, like, us making that decision that moving isn't the right thing for us right now doesn't change the fact that moving is in our best interest and that staying here is going to be a strain on our lives as a whole. So it's like, what the fuck do you do in that situation? Like, do you just take the chance and fucking leave? Do you just sit tight and hope everything settles down in time to leave? Like, there's a lot of other stuff. You know? And so, like, it's trying to figure this shit out and make decisions and do what's in the best interest of everybody. Sometimes it's decisions that aren't popular. Sometimes you have to just go a direction that, you know, isn't really a popular direction to go in. And just fucking hope that you're making the right decision to do so. It's not an easy position to be in. And it's, you know, one of the reasons why you know, up until recently haven't been streaming as much. Like, the amount of stress I've been under with, you know, trying to solidify things with me in book while at the same time make decisions for our future that are in the best interests of our family and everything else. Like, you know, is this sacrifices worth it in the long run? Is it better to just stay put and hope for the best? Like, there's so much going on and there's so much stress involved in it, and it's been too much for me, you know. And it's only the last couple of weeks that really I've gotten to a point where I've, you know, been mentally able to sit here and stream and do what I need to do and not be emotionally falling apart every night. Like, it's a lot to take in and it's a lot to deal with. It's hard to make necessary when you don't know the... Dude, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to know the sacrifice is necessary. It's another to know if the decision you're making is the correct one, right? And that's the position I'm in right now. Like, I know 100% without a doubt, there is no denying it, we need to leave Florida. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We need to leave Florida. If we want to live the life we want to live, if we want to have the opportunities and everything else that we want to have, we need to leave Florida. But where do you go? I have my thoughts on where is a good idea to go. I have my thoughts on what the right decision is. Doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean it's where we should go. Right? And so, like, that's the hard part is you're rolling the dice. You're just going, this place looks good. Let's fucking go for it. Let's hope it works out. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but you don't know until you make that choice. Until you actually just go all in on it, there's no way to know. And that makes it super difficult. It really does. You know, like, I have my thoughts and my ideas, and I think I have a good way about it where we're not too far away. We're getting back here to see her family isn't as much of a problem, and we're in a good spot. But until we actually fucking cut loose and make that choice and do it, we won't know if I'm making the right choice or not. it's fucking stressful. It's a really hard position to be in. You know, but like right now, all I know for sure, the only thing I know 100% is that staying in the Tampa Bay area is not realistic. We will never be in a position that we want to be in if we stay here. That's the only thing I know. And as you know, Florida sucks. It really does. But the Tampa Bay area is pretty good as far as Florida goes. You can do a lot worse in Florida than Tampa Bay. And I hate it, but it's true. If we had been in a position to buy a house a year earlier than we were, the thought of leaving Tampa wouldn't even cross my mind right now. Because we would have bought a house before the fucking market shift, and we'd be in a good spot. We'd have a decent house in a decent neighborhood. Llama would be going to a decent school, and everything would be okay. If COVID hadn't happened, we'd be all right. It wouldn't be a question. I'd be 100% content to stay where we are. But we weren't in a position a year earlier than we were, and COVID did happen. And I know if we stay here, we will I mean, Walsh, I'm not even talking about 5 years. I'm talking about 1 year. 1 single year. If we were in a position to buy a house a year sooner, or if COVID had occurred a year later, our life right now is completely different. I'm talking about 1 year. Not even a year. 6 months. 6 months either way. Our life is completely different right now. But that didn't happen. When we were in a position to buy a house, and when COVID happened, was at the perfect timing to fuck us. Right? And so it just puts us in this position where if we stay here, we will never own a home. We will be renting for the rest of our lives. And even if it's for 20 years, I would like to own a home. I would like to have a house that's mine and be able to do what I want with it. I don't want to be renting somebody else's house where I've got to worry about all the bullshit that comes with renting somebody else's house. I want to own my own place, even if it's for fucking 10 years. And I don't see that happening if we stay here. Coterie fuck shit, even if it's behind us. The effects are so big. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Squid. The housing market in Tampa, where it is now, is 100% because of COVID. Can't sit and dwell on what could have been. Can only focus on what could be or what... Exactly, Walsh. Overrated and you're just one... Well, so, Walsh, that depends. That depends. Right? There's so much that goes into that. Right? Yes. If I were to buy a house here in Tampa right now, the cost of my mortgage and everything else goes up a little bit from the cost that I pay right now to rent. And so the AC goes out, the roof needs replaced, whatever. I'm fucked. Right? Because whatever savings I've built up is going to those repairs. but I moved somewhere where my mortgage is considerably less. Now that expense isn't as much of an issue, right? Now I've saved up enough where I can pay all that shit that I need to pay as a homeowner, and I don't really notice it. I can still fucking do other shit, right? So there's more involved than just homeowning. Also, aerodactyl checks. Nope. Nope. No. No and no. I live in an expensive stage as well. I can tell you that nowhere is affordable unless you're in the middle of fuck all nowhere. I mean, I would disagree with that. I would disagree with that, right? So, like, right now, when you take everything into account, what we pay for rent, electric, water, etc., into account, there are places we can move to where we can live in a much nicer place for considerably less than what we're paying now. You know, to the point where instead of living paycheck to paycheck, we're putting $500 plus a month into savings and still enjoying ourselves on the same income in a much nicer place, to the point where if something goes wrong and we need to fix something, we're looking at a couple thousand, which is a couple months difference in our expenses versus where we are now, where if we were to buy a place similar to what we're renting, it would be a year's worth of savings versus a couple months, right? It's a completely different scenario. Home would be nice, but you are further from activities. Enjoy. Walsh, what activities? Me and Book don't do shit. We're not the go out type. We go to work and we come home and we play video games. We would be much happier in a house out in the country with a couple of acres of land than being in the middle of the city. I go to them, but when do I go to them when I pay for them, Walsh? Every time you've heard about me going to a game somewhere, it's because I got free tickets. Alright, we go to concerts. You get a little stir crazy? Yeah, I'm not. Me and Book aren't that way, Nick. We're perfectly content sitting at home. Like, yeah, we go to concerts and shit every now and then. You know how much we spend to go to a concert? Like $50 to $100 a ticket. And the places I'm looking to go, where I'm looking at moving to, we'd still be able to do that. We'd be looking at an hour's drive to go to a concert. We'd be looking at an hour and a half to go to a game. Fine vegging out. Well, I want to go to dinner at least once or twice a month. See, but Nick, that's where, like, I'm looking at places where, like, there's a legitimate city an hour away. Where if we really wanted to go out and have a night out in the town, we could do it. Where we could go and get a hotel and spend a weekend somewhere. And it wouldn't be a problem. Those are the kind of places I'm looking at, and I found a few. But me and Book typically don't do a lot of shit. We're content having a little local restaurant, a local bar we can go to, and a little farmer's market, and make our own food and live our own life, have a couple acres, let the dogs run around, go out for little hikes on the weekend. That's more our style of life. We're not the go out and socialize around a ton of people kind of type. We're content going to a bar where there's 2 or 3 other people having a couple of drinks and going home. We're content with that kind of life. That's actually our preference. You and I need to swap places, facts, Walsh. But I mean, me and Book have done it. Like, we've gone to bars, we've gone out places where there's just a lot of people, and we're like, I don't like this. This sucks. Like, there's too many people. I'm overstimulated. Fuck this. And we've gone to places where there's like a bartender and 2 other people have been like, this is nice. I like this place. Neither of us feel comfortable in crowds. Neither of us feel comfortable in like the it places. We don't. We're perfectly content in small mountain town where there's one little local bar, one little local restaurant we can go to. We're content with that. We're like, we would rather have a couple of acres of land around our property that we can let our dogs out on and let them run around and go and do their thing and, enjoy and just do our thing with them. You'd find me on a grippy, soft vacation if that was my life. So, like, Walsh, like, we've gone up to Blue Ridge, Georgia a couple of times. And it is probably the happiest we have ever been overall. Where it's just a little cabin in the mountains. Nobody really near us. A little local, bar we can go to. A little local diner we can go to. Go and stop by the farmer's market. Pick up some fresh fruit and veg. That's been the happiest we've been. Like, those are the weekends that we do together when we do trips like that, where we're like, this is why we're married. Because we can do something like this and be happy and content with our life. We can take the dogs in the morning and just do a 30-minute walk and never leave our property. Like, that's the kind of shit we both love. And it annoys the fucking piss out of me that when I bring up the idea of moving to an area like that, she's like, but my family. Like, pick one. Pick one. You can have that life every day, or you can see your family a weekend every now and then. Pick one. Although for me, I'd rather live in a busy cul-de-sac and have something to do every night, weekend at the drop of a hat. See, and Walsh, I'm with you, dude. I wish that was my personality. I wish that was what I had. I wish I can be content in a place where there's shit all around me, there's always people, and it's just not me. I can't do it. I don't like being around people all the time. You know, I want to live in a small town where, like, every Saturday a handful of us go to a different person's house to watch college football and drink beer. Like, that's what I had in the Army. That was the one thing I loved more than anything about my time in the Army. I had a group of people. There was like only a handful of us. And every Sunday we would all get together. We would drink a bunch of beer and we would watch football. And that turned into a couple people in the neighborhood where every Sunday we would rotate whose house we went to watch football. And whoever was hosting supplied the food and the drinks for everybody. And we'd go to that house, we'd watch football Sunday, we'd drink, we'd eat, we'd have a good time, and we'd go home. And then the next Sunday it would rotate to a different house, and it would just rotate around through football season. That was the thing I loved with the Army, but it was a small group of people. And I would love to get back to that. And that's it with a small town that I feel like could happen. You know what I mean? Want to live in a national park or something? Old man of the woods that kids make stories about. Squid, I'm with you. But if I live in a small town where I could go down to the local bar every weekend and just sit there and watch football and have a couple beers and meet a couple people and decide, you know what? Rather than coming to this bar, why don't on Sundays either me and my wife come to your house, you and your wife come to my house, and we watch football, we have a couple of drinks, we have a good time, and then we, you know what I mean? Just have that once a week social activity. And the rest of the week, Monday through Friday, I'm in my office doing remote work. Saturday, I go and do my own thing. I go hiking with Book and the dogs. I go hunting, whatever. Sunday, I get up. I make some wings. I make some pulled pork, whatever. And those handful of couples come over to the house. And we sit there. We have some barbecue. We have some drinks. And then we all go our separate ways. And the next Sunday, I get up and I go to somebody else's house. I have some barbecue and some drinks. And then I go back. That's the fucking life I want. I don't want all these people around me. I don't want to have all this. I want to have 2 or 3 people that I can go to once a week and have a good time. That's my ideal. And right now, I don't have that. Because it's the people I have in my life that would do that can't. Because they're working every day. And they don't have that day off to come over and just watch football and hang out. Yeah, Meta, I want to be on people, but on my terms. That's the best way to describe it. You know, and the people that would have that potential to be that part of my life, I don't get along with those people. Because those are the people like you, Walsh, that want to be in the middle of everything. And I'm not that guy. I want to sit around and have a couple of beers, watch the game, and talk shit. That's the level of social interaction I want. And I can't get that here. You know, for me, my social interaction is streaming. Hanging out with you guys every night. This is the social interaction that I get, and it's what I want. I never had Barrack's life, because I already was married when I joined the army. But essentially, I do mix barracks life. I don't know what to say. I don't enjoy being around a ton of people. I like having a couple of really close people that I can count on. That's my ideal. I don't need to be around a million people. And luckily, I have a wife that's the same way. You know, on the rare occasion we go and do something, she gets really over anxious and overstimulated being around a bunch of people. She doesn't handle it well. She actually doesn't handle it anywhere near as well as I do. I can go to a concert and be in the middle of a mosh pit and be okay. She can't do that. You know? And so, luckily for me, I have a wife that is kind of in that same boat where she'd prefer to have a couple of people that she can really trust and really get along with and everything is good. And let that be that. She'd be happier in that situation. The problem is, getting her in that situation means getting her to move away from her family. And she's not willing to do that. And it creates a big, you know, problem for our future in that. And we're trying to figure that out. But it is what it is on that aspect, you know? Like, we gotta... Either I need to suck it up and stay here, or she needs to suck it up and leave. Like, one of the two needs to happen. We gotta figure that out. I'm really close to 3,000 on Clobbopus, and I don't have the shiny yet, and that's really upsetting. I feel like I also drank way too much whiskey tonight. And that's not a good thing. You're anxious as fuck, Meta. Dude, Book, her anxiety is like ridiculous. And like, I have anxiety problems, and even I'm saying it's ridiculous. Like, that should tell you something. Like, I don't know, like, yeah. It's a thing. Because, like, there's certain things where, like, my anxiety is like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. But I can handle, like, going to concerts and stuff. And being in a crowd, being in a mosh pit. And I'm like, all right, I'm good. And even then, she's like, no, I can't do this. And so it makes her a really weird dynamic because we both have anxiety issues. And for 90% of it, we're both on the same page. Like, yep, nope, I'm good. Leave me out of this. I don't want anything to do with it. But then there's like 10% where I'm like, no, it's cool, let's go. And she's like, no. I can't. There's too many people, I can't do it. It's an interesting dynamic. Alright, Dragon, you have a good night, buddy. Appreciate you, dude. You get some rest. Oh shit, it's almost 11. You know, the longest hunt is shorter than this hunt. Dude, Meta, that's what I was telling you. Like, I've done charm hunts way longer than your shortest hunt without charm. So you bitching to me about your hunts. I'm like, I don't care. You go fuck yourself. Dude, last night with Book, like, what the fuck? I'm like trying to play the game and get us through it. She's like, my name's Jeff. Like, bitch, how about you fucking pay attention to what's going on around you? I'm trying to fucking get us further into this game. And you're just standing there yelling, my name's Jeff. Was on something last night. Dude, honestly, I feel like she was. I don't know what she was on because I don't know about it, but she was on something. And I was kind of like confused because, like, Squid, you know me. I normally match other people's energy. But yeah, last night I couldn't match Book's energy. I don't know if I was tired or what. But I just was like, I'm trying to play this game, bitch. You want to fucking follow me? You want to work with me? Like, although I will say, I talked to Book earlier, and we are going to adjust some things for the near future. And I'm impatient, alright, what can I say? Do a few more hunts, Meta, you'll be good. You'll lose that. But I know we were talking about doing Green Hell next. But with how Grounded is gone, I feel like that's a bad idea. So we're gonna finish Grounded, and then we're gonna look for a shorter game. Something like It Takes Two, or, you know, along those lines, Split Fiction, where we can do it once or twice a week and finish it realistically in a reasonable amount of time. But yeah, like, trying to sort things out where we can both be on stream together has proven difficult, if you couldn't tell, with Grounded. And so it's like, why, like, how are we gonna play these other games and have it work out? So rather than Green Hell, we're gonna try to find something different to play. I don't know what that is, but we're gonna try to find something else. I'm still hopeful that Grounded 2 will be a thing on stream. But, you know, the developers said the entire map for Grounded 2, like, or no, wait, the entire map for Grounded 1 will fit into one area of Grounded 2. And the fact that it's taking us 2 years to finish Grounded, I feel like the once, maybe twice a week that we've done on Grounded isn't going to work if we're going to do Grounded 2 together. But I don't know that getting more than once or twice a week together is going to be an option either. So I'm not entirely sure on how that's going to work with Book joining streams in the future. There's also, just speaking honestly, the fact that from an analytical standpoint, the streams to Book do considerably worse than the Pokemon streams. Which I don't understand, because I feel like the book streams are way more entertaining than the shiny hunting streams, but I'm not the viewer. So, you know, my opinion doesn't really matter on that. But all the signs point to less book instead of more book. Despite the fact that I really wanted it to be more book. Always felt for me, we should bring some... See, that's what I'm saying, Squid. I'm with you. I think the book streams are way more interesting. However, all the data says that we're both incorrect. So I don't know. I got nothing there. I don't know what to tell you. You know, the big thing is, I feel like book scares me. Walsh, you know what? You make a valid argument. I can't really go against that at all. But anyways, I feel like if we could get book on stream a little more often, things would be better. I think if we were doing, you know, 3 nights a week with book and 2 nights with shiny hunting, the analytics would flip. I just don't know that we can realistically get book 3 nights a week. I don't know if we can realistically get book 2 nights a week. I wish we could, but I don't know if it's realistically possible to do that. Hi, sweetie. Hi, it's good. You? I was just talking about you. I was. Walsh said you scare him.
Why?
Because you're crazy when you're on stream.
Oh. I'm not scary. Are you drunk?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are you?
Not yet. But
Not yet. It's fucking 10:30.
I might eat ice cream.
Want to make me popcorn?
No,
Okay.
I won't. Hi, Walsh. Well, you know what, Spin? Maybe you should go buy some.
God damn. Sassy as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what they're called?
No.
Oh, your headset off.
I know.
Puzzled.
I took it off.
Why did you do that?
Alright, I'll put your popcorn on.
Frankies.
It's fucking shit, this one. Fucking bullshit.
What shit?
Please.
No, saying how, like, I think the streams with you are way more entertaining and fun, but the analytics say different. Dude, what?
Talking to me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, what?
No, I was just talking about that and how, like, we're trying to figure out what we can do that would make sense
Oh.
rather than what we had planned. Because it would be a little more difficult.
Well, I told Squiddy that I appreciate them because they actually fucking show up. Regardless. I will not make them come.
Book on a book. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, thank you, Squid. You know what? I would appreciate this fucking clobbopus. I would appreciate that. You want to shine before 3K, you fucking dipshit? I don't think it's gonna shine before 3K. What do you guys think? You think before 3K? I sure as fuck don't. Going to take your first shower since surgery. Excited for it. Hey, Squid. Best of luck, buddy. Hope it all goes well. No, the octopus will not shine. Hang on, Squid. The next one is 3K. Here comes 3K. No shiny. This fucking octopus, I swear. Alright, fuck it. 3K. Let's check whatever aerodactyls I've gotten so far. Nope. 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 And nope. Alright. Well, hey. Thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. Appreciate y'all being here. Y'all are awesome. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I'll catch you here next time.